Good morning. I'm Al Litman, Mayor of Mesquite. Today's COVID-19 report is 445. Last week, the governor spoke about staying home more for the next 2 weeks to reduce the number of COVID-19 cases. I don't have any idea if this will do anything at this point to slow down the pandemic. We are not an isolated island out in the ocean. People are coming here every day from many states. They come to golf, gamble, or just get away for a few days. We count on these visitors to keep our fragile economy going. I wish I had an answer, but I don't. However, please use your common sense and do what's right and wear a mask. I wear a seatbelt and never thought my rights were being violated. I've done this since I installed them in 1959 on my own car, several years before they were standard on every car and truck. I'm still free and alive. And to the lady who always has something to say about the virus on social media, yes, everyone will die sooner or later, but why speed up the process because you think the virus is a hoax? Life is a gift, and we only have one. I don't know about her, but I like being alive. I want to talk a little this morning about the future of Mesquite and what will keep us from growing in a responsible fashion. Our local political campaign is over and the results are in. My opponent and I talked about many of the same things. One being affordable housing or workforce housing or whatever you want to call it. Mesquite has a large number of residents who don't need this type of housing. Many are retired and have lived in their homes for many years. Others have recently moved here from California and other states where they sold their homes for huge profits and were able to buy in Mesquite and have money left over to supplement their retirements. However, we have a large number of residents who are working in the service industry. Teachers, police and fire personnel, and many others who are just starting out in the work world. Our workforce deserves a decent place to live, and that's where the problem comes in. The current rental market in Nevada is challenging for many, particularly families with low to moderate incomes. Over the last few years, the median rent across the state has steadily increased, causing many of our working families to spend more than half of their income on housing. While more housing may help with this issue, much of the new rental housing development in Mesquite will focus on higher earning populations. One of the significant challenges to building affordable housing is the pushback or rejection of developments by people with a NIMBY, not in my backyard mentality. NIMBYism is opposition to housing development, particularly affordable housing in close proximity to one's neighborhood. NIMBYism is often prompted by negative ideas about who lives in affordable housing. As an example, we had a viable developer who wanted to build an affordable project across from one of our schools. I received numerous emails not to allow this development because of, quote, those people who would move in. The complaints came from not only nearby residents, but from others not in the neighborhood. The development never happened due to the opposition. One stigma is pervasive. People living in affordable housing are freeloaders who don't want to work or have stable employment. This is absurd, as you cannot afford what is being proposed in Mesquite if you don't work. We're not talking about welfare recipients. We're talking about our normal, run-of-the-mill working people who perform most of the services we all expect. I could go into much more detail and perhaps will in the coming weeks. But if Mesquite is to prosper, we need a workforce to perform what many in Mesquite no longer do, and that's to go to work and raise a family right here in Mesquite. We will not have that necessary workforce if they cannot afford to live here. Do we expect the many workers who live in Mesquite to live in tents? Do we want people to live in their vehicles and expect them to be able to work? Factors such as rapidly rising housing costs, food prices going up daily, and a relatively stagnant wage scale have put housing out of reach for lower income working families. Paying an average of $12,000 a year for a modest two-bedroom apartment, if you could find one, is unobtainable for many individuals and families in Nevada, even if they're employed full-time or have multiple jobs. People who live in affordable housing do not need housing assistance because they are freeloaders, but simply because wages are low and housing costs are high. We have a possible solution in Mesquite, the first one in years. Let's not blow it because we don't want, quote, those people in our neighborhood. I hear daily from many residents about what Mesquite does need. Trader Joe's, a new supermarket, Home Depot or similar, new places to eat, more retail stores, and the list goes on. I don't know about you, but I'm too old to work in these places for the most part. If we are to have any of this, we need a workforce that can afford to live here. Keep the faith and stay Mesquite strong. We're in this together, and hopefully we'll come out of this together. Thank you.